running records seem to be going down every other day, whether it's shorter track distances or the longer half marathon and marathon distances. Records are being broken, and in this video I just want to categorize all these records that are being broken, some notable performances in my mind, what we could learn from them, and how we could shape some predictions based on these. And I think the number one prediction that everyone pretty much has, and it's pretty much a consensus, it's unanimous, that the men's sub 2 hour marathon is going to happen officially very soon. The unofficial time Eliud Kipchoge already set, but because he had pacers that didn't start at the starting line with him, that's not an official race. And there was a lot of things helping him that day. But for someone to do it just by themselves with barely any pacers towards the back half, and maybe what could be a world major, that will be very impressive. And Kelvin Kiptum, who currently has the marathon record when he was just 36 seconds shy of the sub 2 hour marathon. He was the prime candidate, but he sadly passed away in a car crash. So someone else is going to have to pick up the mantle, but in this video it's pretty clear that someone will pick it up. And I believe, unless there's going to be like some constraints on the super shoe trend, I believe an American is going to get a sub 2 hour marathon within my lifetime. And my lifetime is probably, the next 70 years. So I have this positive trend on my side, but it's a positive trend of getting faster and faster with all these records, but diminishing returns over time. What really opened my eyes to all these running records being broken and the information gap to become an elite runner just shortening is that this guy, Matt Richmond, in his second ever marathon, although he was a D1 runner, there's an asterisk there, he, in his second marathon ever, just won the Los Angeles Marathon, the first time an American has won it in like decades, and he ran a marathon time of 2:08. And the Los Angeles Marathon course isn't like a super flat, net downhill course. It's not the fastest of courses, yet he put up a 2:08 with no coach. And yes, his run is all on Strava. And this just impressed me because he self-coached his way, doing 100, 110 miles per week. Most normal people can't do that, but still he figured out his own way to get to a super fast marathon, and he just took it by himself. And he does have a sponsor now, so I'm sure that's helped him live that running lifestyle, but still it's impressive now. In February of 2025, Jacob Kiplimo, with his Alpha Fly 3s and a pacing car in front of him, got this huge, massive half marathon record. It looks sort of odd when you graph it, how much of a step improvement he did. And this is under official review if it's going to be an official half marathon record or not. But nonetheless, he did run around 13.1 miles and did it super fast. And he is running in the super shoes. We all know the super shoe effect, just giving more energy return per footstep. But that record definitely stuck out to me. And continuing talking about the half marathon, my guys, Connor Mance and Clayton Young, there's a whole YouTube series that if you want to learn more about how they train. But about a month ago, they did the Houston half marathon. They were both going for potentially the American half marathon record, and Connor Mance did it. Connor did Connor things, and although he lost the race by half a second, and because of that, he lost out of around $20,000, I believe, was the first place prize. Pretty brutal. But he got the American half marathon record officially, took it from Ryan Hall, and is now going after the marathon American record, which is around 2:05. His PR is 2:07, so he's running Boston in a few weeks. We'll see if he could do it there. But then, just like less than, I think, a month later, he went to an unofficial course in New York City, and he dropped a 2-second faster half marathon time. It's not the record because it's an unofficial course, but still, he ran a half marathon on a more difficult course that won't stand as the record, but is faster. He's a beast, and he's pretty young in running age, so he's just been on a roll ever since the American Olympic trials, and I'm sure even before that. So his success is just compounding. And in this video, I'm totally going to forget to mention some certain distance or gender that recently broke a record, but I do want to, touch the ones that pop out to me. And in the women's marathon, that record has been broken 2 or 3 times in the past year from me talking, and the most recent time was setting below 2:10. So now the women's marathon time is about 9 minutes away from the men's, which is crazy impressive just how much it dropped in the past few years alone. The women's marathon time is like 2:09:54, which was set in the Chicago Marathon, and before that it was 2:11:53, and that was set in 2023. So in a span of just a year, the marathon records dropped by over 2 minutes. Even with all these records dropping, Usain Bolt's 100 meter and 200 meter times are most likely going to hold for a while. Or at least my words could be proven wrong and then it's broken this year, but probably not. Within a week, Grant Fisher, not Eric Fisher, who I keep mixing him up, who is an NFL player, Grant Fisher on the Boston University 200 meter track, which has like these cool bends in the corner. I really want to run on it. He set the 3,000 meter and the 5,000 meter indoor records. And for the 5,000 meter, he ran a 12 minute and 44 second 5K. To me, my 5K PR is like 17 minutes and 26 seconds. So for him to run that 5K and then just 5 minutes later, I come rolling in, that just seems so shocking to me. And apparently he was helped by now using bicarbonate source. He's using sodium bicarbonate with this like gel that Martin makes. They also make gels. I've never tried their products. Their products are on the pricier side, but if you're an elite athlete, getting 0.1% better is all worth it. So sodium bicarbonate is this new thing to balance out the acidity that's forming when you get the lactic acid and those hydrogen ions in your muscles when you're burning at that anaerobic threshold. So it just helps balance your body, acts as a buffer. The sodium bicarbonate mixture that I'm sure is going to proliferate in the next like 5 years with all these performance companies. It might just be something that you take alongside your caffeine to reduce your pain perception, your carb intake to, that 30 to 60 grams of carbs per hour, along with the water, of course, and the sodium and the electrolytes. The sodium bicarbonate could just be another substance that you just add. There's a study that was done on like a 40-kilometer cycling race, which is not the same as running a marathon. It's a little bit easier, but performance increased by 1.4%. So this is definitely something to be aware of, this possible performance enhancing substance that is legal to use in any Olympic or record holding event. So this is something that might be used more and more. And Grant Fisher's time in the 3,000 meter, which is just under 2 miles, was 7 minutes and 22 seconds, which is just so speedy. The amount of time basically it takes me to brush my teeth around 3 times. And then of course you got the Norwegian athlete Ingebrigtsen, who you've probably seen in some Nike ads. He just put up a super fast mile record on the track of 3 minutes and 45 seconds. And some people are predicting that the women's mile is going to be under 4 minutes very soon. Right now it's at 4:07, so that's also another distance you probably want to keep track of for the like nice round number that you want to break. Like sub 2 hours in the marathon, sub 4 minutes in the mile. These arbitrary round numbers that seem pretty nice. And then there's Duplantis, who does the pole vault and is just in a league of his own, and he's broken his own record like 5 or 6 times now, and every time he does it he gets a big bag of money for it. Hey, credit to him. If no one's competing with you at that level, just why not bring in the money for breaking the records? And he also broke that record this year, and he recently did like a 100-meter race last year, and he's an athlete. Even though he just does the pole vault, he could compete in running if he wanted to, I'm sure. If you go on the World Athletics page, there's been 11 unofficially verified world records that have been set in 2025. I've covered a lot of them in this video, and it just seems like everywhere I look, records are being broken. The next one I'm super excited to see is the American marathon record being broken again, getting under that 205 mark, approaching those 204s, 203s, 202s, and I believe Conor Mantz could do it. We'll see if I'm right and whether he can perform. And as a side note, that guy who broke the half marathon men's record, Jacob Kiplimo, is about to run his first ever marathon in London in April. So, in just a month from now, could he break sub 2 hours? Probably not in his first marathon. Any marathon runner knows that there's a huge learning curve to it, but it'll be exciting to see what he does, especially since he's only 24 years old.